Do I have someone with Councillor King?
Thank you, Your Worship. I move that tender 22-014 Station Wharf dock sections be awarded to JD Marine and Diving Incorporated in the amount of $401,365.30, that HST included, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute a contract further of this award.
Thank you, and seconded by the Deputy Mayor. On the question.
Just on the questions, Your Worship,
Yep.
to Mike. Mike, these docks are going to go where the rocks are on the Station Wharf, on that side?
I'd like to answer yes. I'm going to defer to Mr. Rao.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor King. So this involves two sets of docks is out front of the rocks, that's correct, with a ramp to access them, as well as it replaces some docks in the inside of the Pier 2 as well, some old docks. So we partnered up with Recreation, some of their money they had available for that. We put a tender out, get a more competitive bid, so it involves quite a bit of docks, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councillor Summers.
Thank you, Your Worship. Another question for Director Rao, just the ever-popular estimated timeline on when we should expect to see this work start, and more importantly, finish for boat season.
Sure, to Councillor Summers, we did put this tender out. We think it's fairly early, hoping to get it back, but we did get some feedback that there's some long waits for some of the materials. We tried to get more people to encourage it. We put it out there to the end of September to get the work done. We have been in contact with these guys. They are going to try to get on it, but knowing that some of the materials is hard to get, it could be all summer to get the work done. But I am hopeful that they did promise to look into some things, some alternatives possibly, or some different suppliers, that they're going to do their best to get it done earlier. But yeah, as fast as we can, but supplies, materials is a huge issue for all projects.
Still to you, Councillor. Yeah.
I was hoping for a better answer than that, quite frankly, Director Rao, but not your fault. I get it with supply and demand and whatnot. The amount of funding that we had available looks like we come in almost $85,000 below that, so will that just go back into reserve, Darren?
Yeah, so actually we tendered to replace 6 of the docks on the inside. Recreation wanted 8. We kept it low because we were worried about the price, so we're probably going to buy a couple more because we get some good pricing. So, yeah, thanks.
Just a couple questions from the chair, Director Rao. What's the approximate life cycle for these docks, or docks like this in general? Like, how many years do you expect to get out of them?
To Your Worship, so we had this conversation actually with our designer and some, as well internally. Those docks are there now, about, hopefully get 20 years out of them.
Wow.
So that's, you're in that range, but certainly not 40, 50 years, but in the 20, 25 year range is all they are, and they're expensive. Yeah.
20 years is pretty good. And just to focus on maybe one of the positives of this motion is that these docks that it was mentioned will go in front of the rocks at the refurbished Station Wharf. This is, of course, part of that big project, right? And this is going to be new dock. So do you, not to put you on the spot, but do you have any sense of how much more new dock we'll have in that area now? We know that recreational boating is becoming more and more popular, so this is going to allow more people to dock there, more traffic to come into the downtowns and help the local economy down there. So it's a good news story, and if you don't know the exact number, that's okay, but I think that the takeaway is that it's more boating real estate in our downtown.
I do know the answer. It's 120 feet on the outside, so.
Excellent.
So, yeah. Yep.
Great.
Thanks.
Councillor Duplessis.
You just, I guess, follow up to Councillor Summers and Mayor Lorden. With the additional $85,000, one of the things that I might suggest now, and we can talk about further, but I had feedback from tourists on jet skis, or maybe that's dated, Sea-Doos, this summer, and a lot of the docks in the Station Wharf area are high and they can't pull into them, and I'm just wondering if that 85 grand could be used to satisfy that need, and I'm not sure the specs exactly, or if there's something on the market that can address that, but there's a lot of those machines on the water, and it'd be nice to be able to cater to them a little bit.
So, to Councillor Duplessis, Yes, you're correct. I know a lot of people that have private docks have them. You know, you're in those docks, you're in the, you know, I'm gonna guess top of my head, you know, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 range to buy you know, a specialty dock for a Sea-Doo. You know, I can't comment, I'm not really involved in the operation, but I know in Douglastown, the marina there, some of the private owners do put them in and they arrange a certain fee for them. They buy them and put them in, as I understand. So I'm gonna say yes, there can be accommodations made, but I guess that's up to, you know, the department that runs the marina and maybe, you know, have that conversation later on. But Douglastown does have one or two of them for sure. So, but we didn't allow for any of this in the dock in this tender. But I know that they're available out there. Those dock sections, they're you know, plastic docks or easy docks or whatever you call them. So they're out there available. I'm sure that if that's a service we want to offer, we can. But I think that's a conversation for another day.
No, for sure. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Not to divert here, but didn't we just have a conversation about some new docks that are coming into Ritchie Wharf that will accommodate Sea-Doos, jet skis, whatever we call them? No? I'm making that up. Okay. Well, let's have that conversation about Ritchie Wharf and Station Wharf together. Okay. Seeing nothing further, I'll call the vote. All those in favor?